Yes, Steve.
Here we are at the top of Lipson Road, and I believe that you've got an opinion on what we may be looking at in front of us here.
Yeah, during all the years I did my research, I've walked this area so many times, looking at maps, changing the actual maps of the Civil War Plymouth. This is the junction between Lipson Road and Mount Gould Road, and in my opinion, this was where the Lipson Fort stood, the Great Lipson Fort. And if you look down here, this is the back. This line here could possibly be the back of the Civil War fort. It's not there now, it's a wall. But this area, you'd be looking at the back of Lipson Fort, the Great Lipson Fort work, which went towards, to my left, going down Lipson Road, would have been looking, the front would have been overlooking Lipson Creek and the Royalist forces opposite. They could see, none of these houses would have been here. So you could probably see right across to where the Royalist army was based in 1643, December.
So this could be the edge of it here.
This could be the outline, not the edge. None of this. Yeah, this could possibly be the outline of the Lipson Fort.
So it's sitting in the footprint.
Yes.
Of the fort.
On the site of, I believe. Some people thought it was here. They had an opinion that it would be this side of the road, but I'm 99.9% sure it's there. Those buildings, those houses, if you dig them out, knock them down, I wonder what you'd find. Yeah, because these forts were quite substantial. They were earthworks reinforced with wood and stone wherever possible, and they had magazines in them, they had tents in them, they had soldiers living in them. Not many, it's between 60 and 80 soldiers under a captain, armed with artillery, so who knows what is buried in there. And I think this was the extent of it, to about here or there. Not sure, because there's nothing there. Hey. They're trying to cross the road.
We just need to cross over now.
It's safe. Just going over.
And we can see why the fort would be here.
Yeah, got a perfect view. Yes. That creek, Lipson Creek, separated the two armies. Now these armies weren't here permanently in the Civil War. Only came to about 3 times in the Civil War. Big armies came to Plymouth. The rest of the time we were under blockade, but you never know how the war was going to go and who was going to come down here. So what happened? They built these major works, and they were major. And they were so well built and constructed, they're so well constructed and sited that the Royalists never got in.
So Phil, looking from here, who do we have on the hill the other side of the valley?
Well, in December 1643, you had the Royalist army under Prince Maurice.
Right, and on this side...
you had the Parliamentarian army.
So this really is the front line?
It is. This is the outer line. Plymouth was a small town in those days. So they built the defences away from the town, if you like, on the most suitable ground. This ridge runs right across Plymouth, this high ground. It overlooks Lipson Creek.
They're all linked up, aren't they?
They are, yeah, with breastworks, trenches. These were sometimes knocked down, sometimes rebuilt. There was hedges, high hedges, which were obstructions for any army coming up here. They couldn't have got up here. It's a steep hill. You try walking up here on your own. It's very steep. I've walked up here several times over the years.
Of course, Phil, if you're correct, it's a big footprint, isn't it?
It is. All that, I believe it going right down to that end there. That just behind that blue sign, it went up. That's what I think. So if you came here in 1640, you'd see
a big earth
bank. Here. Yeah, with soldiers, a few soldiers on top, a couple of cannons on each corner. There is no actual maps or pictures of Plymouth. There's a couple of rough maps, but there's no exact maps. There are in other parts of England, but we seem to have we didn't seem to take much interest in it at the time, and nothing changes. Not many people take a lot of our history.
So round about here,
yeah,
is the edge
of
the work.
Well, I'd say by that wall there, this area. It wasn't quite a big substantial work. And between here And they're a point where there were a few mini forts, as they called them, fortlets, half moon works.
Yeah.
Yep, all linked up.
It's a fascinating thought, Phil, that we are standing here on so much history.
Yes.
And the history that shaped the way we live today.
Yes.
And our democratic way of life.
That's right. That's very true, Steve.
History happened here, just here in this area, if not a few feet either way, isn't it?
Yes. It's funny how these.
It is phenomenal.
It's funny how you can pick out the size of the forts as well.
Yes.
By what's
And
here
of
today.
course here we would then see the fall of the land.
Yep.
Down the slope here.
Well, you can have
wouldn't
a good view of it
we?
here.
Look.
How steep it would be. That's why the Royalists came up further. They attacked. They didn't attack up here. They moved. They were further down. It's too steep to cross here.
So the reason they didn't come up here,
It's just too
it's
steep.
too steep.
And you can see them.
And you can see them.
Yeah. So what happened, Prince? Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. Well, I've
And
talked
that
about it
explains
already.
why they
Yes.
came along here, because
Yeah.
it's not so steep this way.
That's right.
And of course, if they'd have come up here, they'd have this.
Massive
Right in the
earthworks.
face.
Yes.
Once again, Phil, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.